The Battle of Waterloo, fought on June 18, 1815, near Waterloo, Belgium, marked the definitive end of Napoleon Bonaparte's reign as Emperor of France for nearly 2 decades. Napoleon had dominated the continent, his military genius leading France to numerous victories and reshaping borders. The preceding years had seen the Napoleonic Wars, a series of major conflicts pitting the French Empire and its allies against a fluctuating array of coalitions, primarily involving Great Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia. The Congress of Vienna, convened in 1814 after Napoleon's first abdication, sought to restore the old order and establish a balance of power. The simmering discontent in Napoleon's lingering popularity created a volatile situation. Napoleon, exiled to the remote island of Elba, proved unable to remain confined. In February 1815, he dramatically escaped his captivity and rapidly returned to France, rallying support and marching on Paris. His return triggered the 100 Days, a brief period of renewed French dominance before his final, fateful confrontation with the Allied forces. The Allied powers, initially caught off guard, swiftly mobilized their forces, determined to prevent Napoleon from regaining control of Europe. The key Allied commanders were the British Duke of Wellington, a veteran of countless battles, and Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher, the Prussian field marshal known for his resilience and tenaciousness. Napoleon's strategy for Waterloo was based on a calculated risk: to defeat the Allied armies separately before they could combine their forces. He planned to engage Wellington's smaller Anglo-Dutch army first, hoping to crush it quickly and then turn north to confront Blücher's Prussians. Blücher, leading a substantial but often disorganized Prussian army, was initially positioned further east, and Napoleon hoped to prevent their timely arrival on the battlefield. The battlefield at Waterloo was a complex terrain of rolling hills, farms and villages, offering both defensive advantages and opportunities for maneuver. Hougoumont, a fortified farmhouse, and La Haye-Sainte, a farmstead with a central farmhouse, were strategically important locations that would become focal points of intense fighting. Early on June 18th, heavy rain had softened the ground, making movement difficult for artillery and cavalry, and further complicating Napoleon's plans. Napoleon delayed the commencement of the battle due to the muddy conditions, which hampered the movement of artillery and cavalry. Around 11:00 a.m., the French began their attack, initiating a relentless series of assaults against the Allied lines, primarily targeting Hougoumont. The fighting at Hougoumont was brutal and protracted, with waves of French soldiers repeatedly thrown against the farmhouse's defenses, suffering heavy casualties. Simultaneously, the French launched attacks against La Haye-Sainte, a critical point in the Allied center, aiming to break through the line and split the Allied army. The defense of La Haye-Sainte was initially successful, but the farmstead was eventually overrun, creating a dangerous gap in the Allied lines. Napoleon deployed his Imperial Guard, his elite troops, in a major attack aimed at breaking the Allied center and securing a decisive victory. The attack by the Imperial Guard, however, was met with fierce resistance from the British infantry, who formed a resolute defense. The British lines held firm against the Imperial Guard's assault, preventing a breakthrough and frustrating Napoleon's plans. Crucially, around 4:00 p.m., Blücher's Prussian army, having evaded capture and regrouped, began to arrive on the battlefield from the northeast. The arrival of the Prussians transformed the battle, relieving pressure on the Allied right flank and forcing Napoleon to divert troops to contain the new threat. The Prussians launched a series of attacks against the French right flank, engaging in a relentless series of engagements. As the Prussians gained momentum, the French right flank began to crumble, threatening to collapse the entire line. With his forces stretched thin and facing attacks from both the British and Prussians, Napoleon realized that the battle was lost. Around 8:00 p.m., Napoleon ordered a retreat, ending the Battle of Waterloo and marking a definitive end to his reign as Emperor of France. The Allied victory at Waterloo had profound consequences for Europe, ushering in a period of relative peace and stability under a new balance of power. Napoleon was forced to abdicate a second time and was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. The Battle of Waterloo stands as a pivotal moment in European history, a testament to the enduring power of strategy, leadership, and resilience in the face of adversity. The battlefield at Waterloo has become a site of pilgrimage and remembrance, a place where visitors can reflect on the sacrifices made and the enduring legacy of this decisive battle. The battle demonstrated the effectiveness of the British infantry's linear tactics, particularly their ability to form squares to repel cavalry charges. The mud and rain significantly hampered the movement of artillery, limiting its effectiveness throughout much of the early stages of the battle. The Prussian arrival proved to be the deciding factor, as it forced Napoleon to divide his forces and prevented him from achieving a decisive victory against Wellington's army. Wellington's choice of battlefield, with its undulating terrain and defensive features, helped to negate the advantages of the French cavalry. The communication between Blücher and Wellington was initially poor, but their combined efforts ultimately proved decisive in defeating Napoleon. The battle highlighted the importance of logistics and supply, as both armies faced challenges in providing adequate food, water, and ammunition to their troops. The Battle of Waterloo involved hundreds of thousands of soldiers from various European nations, representing a clash of empires and ideologies. The losses sustained by both sides were staggering, with tens of thousands of soldiers killed, wounded, or captured during the intense fighting. The legacy of the Battle of Waterloo continues to resonate today, serving as a reminder of the fragility of power and the enduring consequences of war. The battle also underscored the importance of intelligence gathering and accurate information in military decision-making. Napoleon's decision to delay the start of the battle due to the muddy conditions ultimately proved to be a strategic miscalculation. The unwavering courage and discipline of the British troops played a crucial role in repelling the repeated attacks of the French army. The Battle of Waterloo represents a culmination of years of conflict and a turning point in European history, reshaping the continent's political landscape. The battlefield itself, with its monuments and memorials, serves as a powerful reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of striving for peace. The battle demonstrated the changing nature of warfare, with the increasing importance of infantry firepower and the declining role of cavalry charges. The meticulous planning and execution of Wellington's defensive strategy proved to be a decisive factor in securing the Allied victory. The arrival of the Prussians, though delayed, ultimately shifted the balance of power and sealed Napoleon's fate. The Battle of Waterloo remains a subject of intense historical debate and analysis, with historians continuing to re-examine the factors that led to Napoleon's defeat. The resilience of the Allied forces, despite suffering heavy losses, proved to be a key factor in securing the victory. The battle demonstrated the importance of adaptability and improvisation in warfare, as both sides had to adjust their plans and tactics in response to changing circumstances.